Guys, it has been over a year since I made my last mains and averages video, and since then, a lot has changed. So, let's talk about it. Alright, so for 2x2, I mained the MGC Elite 2x2. It was really hard for me to switch from the Valk as I really loved the stable and tactile feel, but my main problem with the Valk was that it was just too slow for me. So that's where the MGC Elite came in. It still had a fairly stable and tactile feel, but it was much faster than the Valk, making it pretty much the perfect 2x2 for me. I have a video comparing both of those 2x2s, so if you're interested, go ahead and give that a watch after watching this video. I currently average around 3 to 4 seconds using the Ortega method. I don't really see myself improving too much, it's not really an event that I want to take seriously, but it is an event that I do still enjoy practicing from time to time. For 3x3, I use the Angstrom Gan 11M Pro, and this is a cube that has been near and dear to me for a very long time. This has been my main since I unboxed the cube. It was just too good. Everything about it was perfectly suited to my turning style. I was getting amazing times, and not to mention the feel is just so satisfying. I enjoyed this cube right from the start. It was pretty much ready right out of the box, which I think is pretty good considering it was a premium cube, which usually takes a while to break in. I've considered switching to other cubes such as the WRM 2021 and the Tornado V2, but I always find myself just coming back to the Angstrom Gan 11M Pro no matter how many new awesome cubes I get. I average around 11 to 12 seconds, and I think that's pretty good, but there is definitely still room for improvement. Moving on to 4x4, I use the YJ-MGC 4x4. I know I said in the past that I'd be switching to the Ambition 4x4, but after I cleaned out the MGC and just reset it up, I realized that the performance of the Ambition just did not live up to the performance of the MGC. I haven't been practicing 4x4 much in 2021, so I still average around 50 to 55 seconds. Moving on to 5x5, my main is the MGC 5x5, and if you guys have been watching me in the past, you know that I love this cube. The turning is just buttery smooth and the performance is just great. I'm definitely not the fastest 5x5 solver. I average around low 2 minutes, probably somewhere around the 2:15, 2:20 mark, and seeing how 5x5 is one of my favorite events, I definitely expect to see some improvement in the future. Moving on to 6x6, this is an event that I didn't show in my previous mains and averages video, and that's because I didn't have a functioning 6x6. So not too long ago, I decided to finally pick up another 6x6, and the one that I chose was the YJ Yushi V2M. Now, I think this cube actually performs pretty well for its price. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely no MGC, but I think its performance is good enough for my skill level right now, because I am nowhere near fast. I haven't done too many 6x6 solves, so right now I average around 6.5 minutes, but I'm very inconsistent. Sometimes I get 7-8 minute solves. I just need to practice more, get faster, and become more consistent. For 7x7, I use the YJ-MGC 7x7, and this is actually my first 7x7. I got this cube not too long ago, and I was blown away. The turning was just incredible, but I can't really say that I was surprised. YJ is just dominating the big cube market. I'm still very slow at 7x7. I haven't done too many solves. Right now, I average around 15 minutes, but again, I'm still very inconsistent. Sometimes I'll get like 18-minute solves, 20-minute solves. It's just very time consuming for me, but it's definitely an event that I'm considering practicing even more. Now, before we move away from the N-by-N events, I want to talk about the very last event in that category, which is 3x3 one-handed. And for that, I use the WRM 2021. I got this cube recently, and I'm really liking it for one-handed. It's very fast, and I was able to find a magnet strength that I really liked, and especially after setup, it just feels incredible. I'm not the fastest at OH either, I average around 35 seconds, but it's definitely an event that I plan on focusing more on in the future. For Megaminx, I main the YJ Yuhu V2M, and this is another cube that I got recently. Before, I was maining a Chi-Hang S, and that cube was just absolute garbage. And that's part of the reason why I never practiced Megaminx, but I decided it was time, and I gotta say, I like it. I am not the fastest Megaminx solver by any means. I average around 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so still a long way to go to get fast, but I think I've come a long way from where I was at. For Pyraminx, I am still using the same cube I was using a year ago, and that is the Chi MS Pyraminx. It's very fast, it's got pretty strong magnets, the performance is pretty good. My one complaint would probably be that the tips are a bit too weak, but other than that, it's a pretty good cube. Currently on Pyraminx, I average around 8 to 9 seconds, so really no improvement from before. I haven't really touched this cube in like maybe 8 months, but now that I'm using it right now, maybe I'll get into Pyraminx. Moving on to Scube, my main is the Scube, just the standard version. And I really love this cube. My old main was the Wingy, and I do still enjoy solving on that cube. It's just the GAN is so good. I'm also very impressed by what GAN has done. I mean, this is their first attempt at making a Scube. Other companies like Moyu and Chi, like they've all had other chances at making Scubes. But GAN went ahead and did it, and in my opinion, they made the best one on their very first try. On Scube, I average pretty much the same as on Pyraminx, 8 to 9 seconds, but for me, it's just not something I find as enjoyable as other events. Alright, so moving on to Square 1, I used the YJMGC Square 1. I got this cube very recently, and beforehand, I was not into Square 1 at all. Before that, I was using a non-magnetic Yushin Little Magic Square 1, but now that I've actually tried a really good Square 1, it got me into the event, it got me practicing, and now I'm actually interested in getting faster. I average around sub 50, which is nowhere near fast, I still got a long way to go, but I gotta say that I'm hooked on the event after trying this cube. All of these cubes have been provided to me by the Cubicles, so massive shout out to them. If you guys are interested, I'll leave the links down below if you guys want to try out any for yourself. And when you do, you can use the discount code JFCUBING to save 5% off of your order. Amazing deal, right? Anyways guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching guys. Bye.